In the summer of 2020, a surprising announcement reverberated through the global trade landscape, sending shockwaves through economies and political arenas alike. President Trump, in a bid to recalibrate America's trade relations, decided to temporarily lower tariffs to 10% for most countries while imposing a staggering 125% tariff on China. This bold maneuver was met with a mixture of intrigue, skepticism, and outright alarm. As stakeholders scrambled to assess its implications, the immediate political ramifications were palpable. Trump's base, largely composed of American manufacturers and workers who had long felt the sting of offshoring, hailed the decision as a triumph. They saw it as a validation of Trump's America First policy, a message that resonated deeply in the heartlands where factories had closed and jobs had vanished. However, this enthusiasm was not universally shared. Critics within the Democratic Party and some moderate Republicans warned of the potential fallout, arguing that such a drastic tariff on China could escalate into a trade war that might hurt American consumers. The political discourse shifted dramatically, with debates igniting over the long-term sustainability of such measures and their potential to alienate allies. Economically, the ramifications unfolded like a complex tapestry. For many countries, the reduction in tariffs presented a golden opportunity. Nations that had previously faced steep trade barriers saw a chance to bolster their exports to the United States. Countries in Europe and Latin America began to ramp up production, eager to fill the void that might arise from a strained relationship with China. The agricultural sector, in particular, was poised to benefit. American farmers, who had struggled under the weight of previous tariffs, anticipated a surge in exports, hoping to reclaim markets that had been lost. Yet, the staggering 125% tariff on China was a double-edged sword. While it aimed to penalize China for its trade practices, it inadvertently raised costs for American businesses reliant on Chinese goods. Electronics manufacturers, for instance, faced soaring prices for components, which threatened to trickle down to consumers. As supply chains buckled under the pressure, many companies began to explore alternative sources, but the transition was neither swift nor seamless. The uncertainty led to a chilling effect on investment, as businesses hesitated to commit to long-term projects amidst an unpredictable trade environment. Reactions from various stakeholders were as diverse as the global economy itself. Business leaders expressed frustration, caught in the crossfire of a geopolitical chess game. The National Retail Federation, representing countless retailers, warned that the tariffs would lead to higher prices for consumers, reducing disposable income and potentially stifling economic growth. Meanwhile, labor unions celebrated the protectionist stance, believing it would safeguard American jobs. Yet, even within the labor movement, there were concerns about the broader implications of a trade war, particularly for industries that relied heavily on imports. Internationally, the response was swift and multifaceted. Countries allied with the United States cautiously welcomed the reduced tariffs, seeing it as a chance to strengthen trade ties. However, nations like Canada and Mexico, who had been navigating their own trade agreements, expressed concern over the potential for economic instability. The European Union, wary of being caught in the crossfire, began to strategize its own trade policies, seeking to reinforce its position as a global economic power. As the months rolled on, the impact of Trump's tariff decisions became increasingly evident. The global trade landscape was reshaped, with alliances tested and new partnerships forming. The world watched closely, gauging whether this bold experiment in trade policy would yield the promised benefits or spiral into a costly confrontation. The stakes were high, and as nations recalibrated their strategies, the echoes of Trump's tariffs would be felt for years to come, a testament to the intricate dance of diplomacy and economics in an interconnected world.